icebox really suited them. So they're set up to continue that trend here. Like I said, actually, it's the saving grace that Nachi has that Cypher setup that can potentially shut that down.
Let's see if that will be the case. The third map now of this series between Team Liquid and Fennel, as Fennel are taking the attack very, very slowly into the round. Recon Dart to try to get a little bit of information, but we're not really reacting on that on either end.
No point of contact comes through. Yeah, actually, Bastarda all the way deep in tube and no sound cues here. So that might even draw the rotation. You can see Naxi considering it. But committed to this double hold here on B side. Actually, with the L drone coming through, there comes the dash. Actually, Trapwire not finding anything on the way in.
Exactly. It's left towards that ladder, but it still works for a couple of kills here for Nachi. Going for the third, and yes, indeed. Tripping over that one, Kurumi gets punished. And that spike down. Koharu by herself. Nice little dink, but she's down to 13 HP. This is not going to be too easy to do, especially now that the defenders are closing in on her. As she moves forward, DRN allows Team Liquid to get an easy first pistol round.
Great hold as well, actually. The setup here on B, very, very deep hold, and Nachi making use of that early peak. No pressure coming towards the tripwire, so got to assume that all of that pressure is coming on towards site, and find some massive kills on the way in here. Suzu just not even considering the possibility. Maybe anticipating a much deeper hold on the back of it being a Cypher.
Yeah. At least what I like from the duelists is they went on in the middle pretty much. Trying to split up that area, trying to see what we're setting up here for Nachi. See if Fennel could adapt to that in the later rounds.
The difference being, and I think there was 1 or 2 rounds we mentioned it on Ascent, really testing the diligence here with obviously Liquid having 2 initiators, right? Both duelists sure run it down, but they have to clear these angles. Bastarda nearly actually getting caught out here with this push. Daiki will find one in tube. There's 2 more to find though. Should have the info off that door opening as well.
As the door opens up, we have Festival that's just running down towards the staircase, but DRN still holding everything else with the rest of Team Liquid. With the Bermuda Triangle, everybody falls into the trap. Clean anti-eco for Team Liquid.
Yeah, the Prime Gaming Flawless coming through, so all of this equipment carried across into round 3. Actually 2 Bulldogs to round things out as well, so no real threat of losing out in some of these ranged engagements. Just the Spectres. Good catch as well on this double flank here from Daiki. Make sure that Len can't create any further pressure on towards site. Curious now, actually, the pacing on this first buy round for Fennel. I think Icebox was a story of momentum, right? Once they built up a couple of these confident, frag-heavy round victories, that's when they look to kind of build upon it.
And a great opportunity to do it now when Fennel has rifles to work with against Team Liquid's bonus. Yes, 2 Bulldogs, but the rest are only Spectres. The Owls are going to kiss towards mid. One does get a ping, but it still will not stop Fennel from moving forward on top mid.
Say, unorthodox placement of the Poison Orb here, and it would lead me towards believing actually they're going to pressure towards Nest, and they will. Daiki, luckily, has backed away. I think reading this Poison Orb perfectly.
And it's set for a crossfire all towards spawn on Team Liquid. Meanwhile, for Fennel, we've seen these camera setups from Nachi looking down towards B main and also towards Nest. So as the smoke dissipates from the Poison Orb, we actually did see one towards the top of mid, but did not expect 3 players as Team Liquid, as Fennel are trying to fight back. Lots of utility being used, blocking the vision on both ends, and that's going to be Fennel trying to rush into the A site. Nice little flash coming through, but Suzu cannot get the kill onto DRN at the bottom of the bridge. Finally, we get some trade-offs. It's a 3 versus 2, as we're still trying to move inside the site. Cypher spotted down towards that bridge as Nachi is waiting to be met up by Naxi. So now with this plant, for 2 players towards door.
Yeah, double stacking tube is going to be really difficult for Liquid to dig out. And all Kurumi needs to do is just maybe catch a little bit of information, but Len got on the flank already. Wants to be proactive here.
1 enemy remaining.
Spot the first and the second. An easy one done. Very, very nice for Fennel on the pulse plant, but that conversion towards mid and seeing that Poison Orb on tunnel, that may be something that Fennel might try to take advantage of if nothing changes for the setups for Team Liquid.
Absolutely, yeah, and we talked about, I mean, Nachi being the one typically we see on the chamber, and Liquid like to post very, very deep looking for these engagements with the Cypher. It's going to be a much, much deeper hold.
Yeah.
Way more passive, almost kind of receptive towards some of these hits from Fennel. So whether or not they try and run away with that, you know, get very early mid control, deep mid control as well, noting that poison orb, things like that.
Yeah.
Curious to see how much Fennel have got cooked up in that regard.
That's going to change a bit. 3 repelling up towards the halls, and that's going to be heard by DRN just under the double doors. And that's going to force the rotate potentially. The calls are coming out, but the spike is still winning towards B. We're trying to catch Nachi on the rotate out.
They're wrapping B. Again, with no pressure here outside Tube, they actually look to try and backfill this B-side hole, but Naxi will find the first, DRN for the second as well.
Ooh, the idea was so good there for Fennel, but unfortunately everybody's losing their duels. And just like that, it's a 5 versus 1. Kurumi stuck in the front of B main. Snakebite on the ground. But you're just going to try to see if you can do anything here. Try to make it expensive if you can. That's 2 kills at least to start, a minute to work with. And potentially an orb if your position's given away. Basara is looking for the flank, and she'll get it.
Good cleanup, and actually keeping that in check. Like I said, Fennel looking to get really unorthodox. Very pacey push down Tube, but Liquid actually paying a lot of respect to that. They don't risk anything. A lot of this utility burnt up pretty quickly just to even take that deep Tube control. Naxi punishing that, and Nachi actually completely unfazed. Roll towards backside once again.
At least the confidence is that they know they can continue with these duels against their opponents. But just trying to clear out the right angles would be the name of the game if they want to try to go for these spawn pushes. In this round, change of pace. A little bit faster for Fennel. A wall to look up towards mid. We have this Neon pushing forward too from Festival. Big knife though to not allow any more utility to come out from this Neon. Suzu somehow on the right side of Pyramid still manages to get the headshot onto DRN. Now comes out with the Blade Storm, but it gets denied by Bastarda. Meanwhile, Spike has been planted, so at least that's the first check mark. Make that even a second one as the numbers are dwindling down on the rotation from Team Liquid. 2 players now come out from mid doors. A 1 versus 1 in the back, and that's Festival once again. Coming to the party and getting a headshot onto Daiki. Big hat to come out to find the information on the last 2. And not Nachi and Naxi moving up the doors finally. Setup's too good now for Fennel. And Naxi on top of that even gets pinged. What a thrifty coming out here from Fennel.
Beautiful crunch towards double doors as well. And actually, I think Suzu finding that kill with the classic all the way onto default. You see actually the counter peek coming through from the door, but again, Fennel just not giving them the opportunity at all. So yeah, Bastarda luckily removing the Blade Storm pretty quickly from Suzu's hands.
1 enemy remains.
A great round from Fennel. And actually forces Liquid back down to just Sheriffs coming into the next. 1 away from the Blade Storm. Whether or not Bastarda is going to go for an early orb. No, back towards Bridge here. So no chance of offsetting these pistols here with the ultimate.
Doesn't seem like there's going to be any trap plays, so it's just going to be the overdrive from Festival. Fully blinded, but Koharu is there to support. They spot another one from the ping in the back of Orange, and Festival's clearing towards the right side of the pyramid. All the support comes through, all the information's there, and she does not get the kill as Bastarda gets the headshot and dashes forward. But that's still period advantage for Fennel. Bastarda has low HP inside the site. Len watching that rotation on middle, and it's going to come head-to-head against Daiki. I'm pretty sure Daiki saw her, so that's a potential for her to at least salvage a gun.
Ping comes through on the minimap as well, so Daiki should clear this angle. Len, the timing just slips through her fingers. So an upgrade here. Koharu, the next on the chopping block.
Oh, we're fighting. We want to swing out. We don't want to go for the tight angles. And Daiki and Bastarda somehow makes it a 2 versus 1 in favor of Team Liquid. At least both of them are being pinged out, so it's a Sova on Sova. Trying to run that clock down. Shock Dart on one end, Daiki on the other. They're just going ring around a rosy around these pyramids, but that spike is taken down. It's not going to happen for the defuse. You just want to try to make it expensive, but you've made it expensive enough.
Another beautiful split through mid. This time as well with the Viper Wall just to complement that, make it a little bit easier. A Festival just going ham through double doors, creating so much chaos. Like I said, this player on default on A site just has no opportunity to find a comfortable peak anywhere. Again, I think Liquid talking about potentially leaning towards a more passive hold with Nachi on the Cypher, but they need to actually go toe-to-toe. They need to dip their toes a little bit for these opening engagements because Fennel just running away with the early round.
Yeah, and pretty crazy that Kurumi had to do a Red Bull clutch to be able to save that round here for Fennel. But thankfully, the money's still really good here for the attack. That economy wasn't really damaged at all, and they're still going to still be able to take out an operator into this round.
I think Bastardo actually saving through here to try and get the operator online.
Yeah.
Utilize the Blade Storm here. Naxi one off the Viper's bit, and that will be the full house in terms of this ultimate cycle for Liquid. Same once again though with this push behind the Poison Orb towards Nest. And Festival actually finds Nachi. That's been the problem on some of these B hits so far.
Now a ping out and nice little spacing from Festival, who taps another one in the face of DRN. That's an early 5v to make that only one more to go. Daiki inside this B site. I'm just going to save it there, and I just love this. I just love this right now from Fennel. We talk about tape here, Hypoc, and I feel that they have the perfect counter to these camera setups on mid against Nachi.
It's the same thing once again though. Liquid almost being caught off guard and tested previously with that recovery factor, constantly having to react to this overwhelming pressure that Fennel are able to create. The chaos that ensues as well. I mean, Festival actually with the perfect bait, that reveal coming through to mid, actually tagging the opposite player in Ness. I think it was Kaharu. A Festival capitalizing on that. It's just beautiful to watch. Daiki will try and hold on to this rifle, but this kind of throws the economy off kilts as well. We're talking about Bastardo holding on to some money, using the Blade Storm to try and get that operator online, and Suzu sharp to it. The Prime Gaming flawless here in round 7, and Fennel put themselves one round ahead here.
Yeah. Definitely feels like you need to do some sort of adjustment, and maybe that...
I was going to say, I'm expecting a timeout to come because there's just no answer. Previously, Nachi was the problem on this B-side split that Fennel were trying to employ and remove so quickly. Not only that, Festival then finds 3 on the round as well.
And not only the first step, getting through the camera, we want to try to see if it can play more passively for Team Liquid in the back of A halls, and it can't really do it.
I mean, I noted actually Nachi would be the perfect counter as the best sentinel to have, you know, one person dashing onto site and Neon running it down into site as well. But actually, they're completely navigating away from where the utility is. And they're actually creating pressure where Liquid probably aren't expecting it. The site holds are going to be so robust for Liquid. The emphasis needs to shift towards mid here.
Exactly. Keep in mind that even then, we haven't had too much pressure towards AK if we're on those defaults towards the A side splits. Once in a while it happens, but if not, it's all on mid.
Noting as well, I think it was DRN and Naxa previously playing A side default where they just don't have a chance. Because there's a 4-man hit through double doors. There's no pressure coming from Cave until that contact is found. And that's when that default player is really going to struggle because they're forced onto the wrong side. And then even then, if you don't peek towards, you know, up towards tube door or towards double doors, then you're isolated so quickly.
Correct, but at least they have what it takes to be able to go for that mid pressure. They have that Silva to work with on top mid with Daiki. They have Bastardo that could play towards the elbow, and they have the KO9 for info.
Could make the argument, though, that typically it would be Nachi, right? Nachi would be posting up with a TP somewhere, find that opening engagement, TP away. They don't have that possibility with this composition.
That is correct. That is also true. So you're hoping that it's going to be the case here with Bastardo exactly there. So the KO and the Jet working together on mid, but a lower buy.
But it's almost the perfect read from Fennel. Look at the minimap right now. They're anticipating this pace change coming out of the timeout. Beautiful stuff. Fennel looks as if they got their finger on the pulse here on Breeze.
Controlling everything so far. There's jump spotting towards the back of the A halls from Daiki. We have a Viper's Pit onto A main, and that is actually a very interesting pit when you have such a low buy for Team Liquid.
Walking tube is 5. Daiki actually giving up the angle here that yes, the trip is here, but again, look at the problems Naxi's going to have. And Liquid are left wondering. That's why we see the recon dart invested towards bottom mid.
This is crazy. This is also an opportunity for them to play. Exactly. So they might not break this trip. Okay, they will do so and just try to push forward. And now you play around the Viper's Pit, plant behind the pyramids.
I mean, what do you do there if you're Daiki? There's 5 people through tube.
You just take out the KY
30 seconds left.
And then just die, right?
Sure. I mean, that looks like what happened, honestly. Actually, Nachi spotted on that crossing spawn as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Still is going to make that happen, but Suzu still has an angle in the back of the A-holes towards spawn.
Where is everyone?
Not going to be easy here for Nachi, but at least the hat's going to give a bit of information. But we're trying to do these surprise plays off the hat. Not going to work out. Everybody's getting punished. And that is going to be Fennel. Yeah, that's crazy. 5 players walking in halls.
I mean,
What do you do?
Fennel just have the right answers right now. Again, great anticipation coming out of the timeout. They expected Liquid to do exactly what they did. They walked into the trap, right?
Yeah.
Left a massive gap in the defense here, and Daikiatsu on the second rotation back towards bridge. Like I said, the paranoia is built, right? It has to come and invest that recon bolt towards bottom mid to think, where are they?
Yeah.
And the only point, actually, 5 players stacked up on that trap wire. They're ready to explode on the back of it.
And look what happens after. Off the timeout, it's time to go back to at least a poison orb on tunnel. But you're actually going to try to go for this, or you're actually going to try to look for mid. It's not going to happen. There's that conditioning. Look at Team Liquid right now. 3 players conditioned to work towards the mid to fight back. And that's no defense on the A site where we're looking for such a quick and heavy hit.
So it's the first time actually there's been heavy presence towards him. Actually
Exactly.
pulled 1 member away from default. So actually, 2 members stacked on the... Actually, Naxi going to find the opening here onto Kurumi, so definitely going to slow things down.
For an null come in, but we're trying to swing through, over-committed into that kill. And now we get punished back. Team Liquid falling down to an even situation against against Fennel. And that's some aim line practice there from Festival, shooting both her teammates' recon and the enemy's one. But that doesn't phase Team Liquid. They still have great position towards the A site, but now we're flipping it towards B, where we also have Festival that could dash it across with the spike on her back.
Bastard is posted up on this, so should find the first.
Ooh.
Actually, just a tag. Whether or not Fennel on the back of that peak are going to commit. Yeah, they are.
Left.
Bastarda holding towards the elbow. She'll hear all the footsteps. Hunter's Fury coming out on defense, and that's Daiki already at Archway. But Plant will at least come down. But can Koharu hold towards this B main against Bastarda while we do have the fight from Festival, who does get pinged out by the L drone. And unfortunately, Bastarda does the dance, gets the kill, and then a 3rd into the round onto Festival, and Team Liquid fight back.
Great response here. Even there with Naxi looking just a little antsy to try and find that kill, right? To push even further forwards, but have Liquid anticipating a fake here, or whether there's any confirmation of a second player, a 3rd player potentially tucked up behind bricks. Even the Hunter's Fury just to seal the deal here.
Enemy remaining.
Started finding a crucial kill into Koharu. And onto Festival to close things out. Still looking fired up, and actually still a very close scoreline. Don't let the way these rounds have played out deceive you. Fennel on a very comfortable 4-round streak, though. Finally closed off with that retake by Liquid. Ultimate's why this Festival and Len. Well, we see them invested here. Ooh, Starter taking a ton of damage.
And a small change as well from the defense. We actually have Nachi's camera all the way up on top mid, just to support the double push that they have from herself and Bastarda.
Yeah, slight adaptation. Like I said, to shift the focus back towards. Trying to take it out with a shorty.
Somebody else is going to do it. They pinged it. Kurumi, there you go, breaks it. But still, Team Liquid, they still got the first blood into the round with a battle towards elbow.
I was going to say, Fennel do have this poison here, orb once again. Whether or not Daiki's going to commit to this challenge. Fennel will put 2 up and nest once again. Yeah, Daiki wants to peek this. You can see he wants to try and get onto the edge of bridge here. Take a little off angle.
Might be a minute. Oh, okay. The first contact that was, yeah.
Beautiful crossfire set.
Very well done here by Nachi.
What? Festival still found one.
Couldn't react on the second kill, but the push is coming in from mid doors 2 on the attack. So can we hold it down on the A site? Nice relay bolt from Festival. Naxi falls, and this all crumbles for Team Liquid. Darren trying to fight back as much as she can, trying to delay as much as she could as the overdrive comes out from Festival and shocking her opponent. Moving in towards the A site. 10 seconds left on the clock. We have to move quick. It's a 1v1. It's down on the ground, and Basara still wants to fight it and wins the round and leads her Team Liquid.
This is such a crazy round. I mean, this crossfire actually getting dismantled is the crazy thing here.
Yeah.
So it looks like the perfect response. I thought potentially Daiki was going to swing on, like I said, an off angle, just on the edge of bridge there. I'm not even sure, actually, with the way that Festival and Len are creeping up here. Whether or not she's spotted, I don't know if her shoulder's out of place or what, but they hard cleared her on the edge of that bridge, which is wild.
Thankfully, you have a star player like Bastarda to clutch that round on that 1v1 to allow here Team Liquid to stay alive in this first half.
You see back-to-back actually, Bastarda fired up on the player cam as well.
Yeah.
And need some of these rounds, right, where they're kind of winning out in raw gunfights, right, to rebuild the confidence. Again, actually, maybe we'll talk about that discussion of moving things back towards mid and Liquid trying to keep that in check. But no, it's just a couple of attempts to aggressively take that on the back of potentially Daiki or DRN's utility to find that first blood. Problem being, Fennel is stacked up with like 4 or 5 potentially behind it. I don't think Liquid have really learned about what the default, inverted commas, looks like for Fennel.
But even then for Fennel, since that timeout that came out from Team Liquid, it feels like sometimes they're trying to overplay themselves a little bit where the success came from middle. Now it's just like, hey, let's not take middle as much. And especially with the camera that they got from Nachi that they broke early, there's a chance here to maybe re-hit towards that mid or even split towards his B site.
Big switch up here actually with Naxi heading over towards B site.
Yeah.
Daiki positioned in nest. You see the pings coming through. I think this might be the round that we might see exactly what I was talking about. Aggressive take on mid on the back of DRN and Daiki's utility. Actually, Festival's stun actually acting as a bit of a deterrent. Second pick comes through from DRN, but no trade-off of damage, actually.
There you go. You have Daiki playing on the top of mid just to try to drone out in that area. Things that it's clear, but we still have Festival lurking around that area. Meanwhile, though, a little bit of a camera that spots one towards A main. Yep. Nice.
Spike noted as well.
Attacker spawn.
I think spotted the second player. Wise to back away, though. I started very active in this round. The Festival's up to no good.
Spotted 2. That's a little wall for the fallback, and here's that split into the B site that we talked about, but that's Naxi playing towards his B main, could delay rather into this B site. Snakebite on the ground. Suzu trying to move forward with the Blade Storm out. Now here comes the pit on top of that. Kohalu getting the kill, and the Neural Theft is going to spot all the rest of the defenders, which will allow Fennel to reposition inside the site and try to fight back. But Bastarda answers the call. And at player disadvantage going out for Fennel, it's going to be Suzu with the Judge, Len with the Vandal, and still a couple of knives in, and we will try to go for it. Play.
Oh my God!
The flick for Len to get the kill onto Naxi.
Len finds both kills quick enough that Naxi can't even flank in the Viper's pit.
That is insane.
Crazy stuff. I think Naxi just catches herself off timing there. the snake bite coming through onto main was so late, and it was on the back of the toxin cooldown. So no possibility to stop Fennel forcing the issue here on B site. Like I said, finding that second kill allowed her to reset. Beautiful stuff from Len.
That is still crazy, though. It's a Vandal and a Judge in a Viper's pit where usually the plays stay in there, decay your opponents, and then just judge them, but they ran out of the pit just to get the kills. That is some confidence going into that round. And a big win for Fennel to take the lead by 1. And this also a broken economy for Team Liquid. Forced to play a Blade Storm. DRN has nothing but a Sheriff, and Festival's already moving into the A site.
Festival's just creating even more pressure. Woo! It's not stopped towards double doors this half. And Liquid haven't had a response. DRN now, like I said, isolated here on default. Only a Sheriff punished for it.
But in these moments are when TL could shine, these retakes somehow making the impossible situations possible. Suzu, though, bring the chances back in favor of Fennel, but not until Bastarda gets the headshot on that Blade Storm. Only one more player to go, and that's exactly what we were talking about. Kurumi has to try to go for it. Clutch does get that nice headshot onto Bastarda. Now it's up to her against Nachi. Jump spotted now towards yellow. A little bit of a tag. Hunter's Fury available for Kurumi. 2 shock darts, but looking for her opponent. And her opponent standing still comes out for the flick and the headshot. And that's going to be Nachi to come in for the defuse. And with this third map, we've tied it up 6-6.
It's still crazy to me that this ends as 6-6. With Fennel really taking the fight to Liquid here. Somehow able to weather the storm and come out at an even half. Another fantastic round from Bastarda. So quick on this, and even here, ahead of the spike plant, wants to find the kill on Len. Weaken that post-plant hold. and Natty to close things out. Great shot from Kurumi as well onto Bastardo.
Yeah.
Ahead of that neural theft popping. And a little bit of frustration here, yeah. But a fantastic half from Fennel.
And how do you close this off? But before we close it into the next half, let's bring it back to the desk to see what they have to say.
Again, we are being treated to another fantastic game between Team Liquid and Fennel, and I expect nothing less here at this point. And on Breeze of all maps, color me surprised. But anyway, Kukuka, let's talk about this, because, I mean, really, the hits started coming right at the beginning of this game.
First of all, I have to say, Festival is playing a different game. I am so
Yes.
invested in this match, but I wanted to take a look at this pistol round, and we're going to take a look at the map, because look at the setup that Team Liquid brings, knowing that they're playing against the Neon and against the Jet. Look at the Cypher with the camera and the tripwire protecting there, knowing also that they can look with the camera, that they have to have control over mid. The KO throw in that 0 point that is indestructible and would give the information onto A, and also keeping control on tube. Mid is going to be sold out, but definitely they knew that they were going against this composition, and they prepared everything to secure that first round, especially shutting down that first super fast aggression that could come perfectly from that double duelist.
Yeah, I mean, that double duelist really is something else, but Festival on this Neon has been doing God's work. Like you said, she's playing a different game.
Executes that
Seriously.
that they're doing on A, I'm still mind blown.
Yeah, I mean, going into their defense side, this Neon is going to be super, super interesting. Obviously, when you do have a Neon and a Jet and double duelist comp, you kind of expect them to be putting pressure towards the mains, kind of taking back some of the space that they know they might be able to lose with that utility. But going forward, like, Team Liquid can kind of bait out that stuff, because the thing about Neon is if she's played right, her B retakes are insane, because she can completely stun off that entire backside. And if their team is playing offsite, like you said before, they have the walls, they have the smokes, they have the other wall, they have the cages. Like, it's impossible to play post plant against this comp. So Team Liquid really have to work on baiting this kind of util out, especially on the Neon. And if they're putting pressure towards one side, being able to react in a way that will deny them from any of those early picks, for sure.
Yeah, it's really just been a beautiful game to watch, and I'm excited for the second half. We need more, so let's send it back over to Vansilian Hypoc. Hope you get your celebration ready. Bye.
You wanted more, you got more. The second half about to start things off, and it's a clean slate from everything that happened for the first map until now. And it all comes down to potentially this second half, or maybe we'll see OT because it's so close.
Yeah, I mean, interesting stat here, though. Liquid 5-0 on decided maps in 2022. The big question, actually, just to come back to Athena. Actually, what she mentioned on the desk here, this composition, they need to have something cooked up to make it work, right?
Yeah.
The concern always being, especially on Breeze, right, is making this double duelist, hyper-aggressive composition work on defense. Actually, Liquid have found themselves a wide-open B site here. Cool. So going to test that retake ability of Neon immediately in the pistol.
I think I'm going to have to stretch my muscle jaws, because I feel that this is going to be very explosive, but an attempt for a retake here onto Fennel. Spike goes down, and we have great positions, at least for the pulse plant, but there's no snake bites to work from Naxi.
You see, actually, three members technically committed towards site here. Actually, Suzu going to find the first Daiki on a wild jump swing. Kaharu's found another one as well. No answer back from Liquid just yet.
Okay, well, through the toxic screen does get one, and now the numbers are coming back in favor
DRN
of Team
found
Liquid.
two.
It's a 2 versus 2. Make that a 1 versus 1. DRN versus Suzu, but Suzu's low in HP. Thankfully, she does have the Sheriff to work with, and it's up against the Ghost.
Oh
The
my
pig
God.
out, and DRN gets a 4th kill into the round, and that's the second pistol round into this map for Team Liquid.
Suzu getting tagged up earlier, only needed another shot or two from DRN to close things out, but I thought just for a moment there, the timing was going to slip through her fingers. Liquid, though, get the first on the board in the second half. And again, actually, I was saying, there was no response from Liquid just yet, but when DRN finds these 2 kills, then resets for the third. Kurumi falling here is the problem, right? Because Suzu in this scenario, Sheriff in hand, I don't think the dash was even available here ahead of the suppress. Makes it very difficult to recover that. And again, Liquid have found themselves a wide open B site. Fennel anticipating a switch up in round 2, but it's just not there. Whether or not Liquid are just going to look to pile the pressure onto B site on their attack in half it.
A gamble stack that we have for Fennel towards the A side, but look at this. They do have a camera that could be used as soon as they want to pop out towards this wall of the B site. And let's see how that's going to come into play. There you go, already broken. Not going to do much. Allowing now Fennel to walk back down towards their opponent's toxic screen. Not going to be able to do too much at this point. After Bastarda spots the first contact, everybody just swings out. So the flood that you wanted to do from Fennel actually just funnels into their death.
Pinged out as well. Suzu down to 30 HP. Once again, just a pistol finds a headshot, but Daiki closes things out. It's a Prime Gaming flawless in the second round here. Liquid off to a convincing start here. Once again, those Bulldogs going to be carried across, so no concerns if Liquid want to look for a ranged engagement here on the bonus. Started with some early kills as well. DRN actually leading the charge, one away from the null command here.
Yeah.
In terms of this first ult cycle. And we'll see what the response is here from Fennel. Their first full purchase. Well, no, Liquid actually going to lean towards B side once again, which, looking at the minimap, might be the case. So hoping Kaharu can slow things down here. A deep setup with the tripwires. Spycam dealt with immediately. Has to retreat, has to fall away from this.
Another quick hit from Team Liquid into this B site. We're looking to see if we can get this plant for DRN, and getting that plant with DRN will allow to have the null command to happen. We talked about circling these orbs if you can to try to get an ult as fast as possible. When you have it on your bonus round,
It's huge.
you like your chances.
Actually, he's going to go through, going to catch a lot of Fennel here, but actually Karumi going to overwhelm. Actually, a second, a third comes through.
It is overwhelming indeed. Only 2 more to go to take down if Fennel wants to win this round. Daiki on a 3 versus 1. Drops the first, shock dart close. No damage, circles around the other end, but Len was there to protect. They stopped the bleeding. Festival at 2 HP, but they still managed to get the round.
Good damage once again here, but the problem being, this is kind of almost, we're talking about conditioning on Icebox very early on here. Liquid are almost conditioning Fennel to put a little more focus towards B side, right?
Yeah.
Talking about Kaharu being caught off guard, being forced very, very deep away from this B side hold, and actually, some diligence shown, actually making use of Daiki's utility to try and deal with these close tripwires so that you can create a little bit of space with Bastardic. Unfortunately, not finding a kill off anything. I mean, Kaharu's completely overwhelmed. There's no point going 1 for 1 at that point. The retake pays off. You see here the problem being is 3 classics to offset these 2 rifles. Fennel don't want to allow their economy to get off kilter, but an aggressive push will get them the Blade Storm here, even though Festival falls. Retrieval of the weapon, though.
It's a good start. So falling back towards the side, but look at this push to the holes, as you mentioned. Bastarda now gets the headshot into Kaharu. It allows them to maybe go for a fake to split into the B site while the rest of Team Liquid are still holding towards cave. Being very cautious still by clearing it out with the Owl Drone, doing whatever they can. But this seems to be another easy site to take. The battle coming up towards middle. As Bastarda is under heavy attack. Kurumi somehow manages to get the kill onto Nachi behind Bastarda, who is there for support. Here comes another duel coming up towards top mid, and there you go. She's having her game.
The last shot will land onto Karumi. It's just Suzu now with this Blade Storm that they worked so hard to get at the start of this round. Get a little upgrade here potentially with the Vandal, but 3 more to find here. It's going to happen. Daiki will seal the deal here. 9-7 for Liquid. Seeing Bastardi almost creating a little bit of Fennel-like chaos here, getting all the way down into Tube. Fennel kind of left wandering. Exactly where the rest of Liquid are positioned. So this was with Fennel bringing in 3 classics into this just to make sure they can buy in the next. Decent progress here towards some of these ultimates as well. Festival, Karumi, one away. Kaharu as well, actually. It's an important round though. This is ultimately for Fennel to keep things interesting here in the second half, and potential in this round for Liquid to really apply the pressure in terms of the finances. This will be double digits and arguably should be round 11 as well if they can close this out.
Yeah, definitely. The first one to get double digits will probably get that confidence to try to close this game. Team Liquid are only 1 away. But meanwhile, as you look at the defense from Fennel, they have added so much pressure towards this mid. Suzu currently waiting while Team Liquid are still holding a very, very slow spawn, expecting these pushes, trying to punish Fennel. So now the angle comes back in favor of Suzu on by the castle. Back with Bastarda, spotting one player, one opponent inside the A halls, and finally Team Liquid are looking to explode potentially into this A site.
Still 3 to hold this though. So it's a deep hold, yes, but we're not going to rely on maybe a little bit of utility towards default. Festival, meanwhile, has slipped the net all the way down tube, and there's no utility to stop this flank coming through cave whatsoever.
30 seconds left.
Liquid need to have their heads on a swivel. Nobody on site needs to challenge until Festival makes a move here, and that's going to be it. Naxi will fall. That's the Viper will remove.
Oh my god! 2 headshots on the DRN and Bastarda, and finally gets stopped by Daiki. We're fighting back, and she's all alone towards the A cave, and gets another one as Len opens the door. Surprise! As she comes knocking, looking to get this plant into this A side, but Suzu's there on the flank.
Oh my god! What was that from Festival?
Oh.
You think maybe 1 or 2, but lining up onto default there, no hesitation whatsoever. Oh, what a map she's having.
I was just gonna say, like, okay, a backstab, being able to get the skill into Viper, no snake bites available. This happens.
I mean, the great thing is, like I said, nobody on site needs to move until Festival actually pulls the trigger.
Yep.
And it just so happens it's 3 for Festival in the backlines. Like I said, the worst one to fall first is Naxi, right? That Viper wall is removed. There's no real safety net on site. Liquid looking to up the pace a little bit here. No secrets about this initial A presence. Festival once again looking to get into the backlines. This time around the wrong side of that Cypher utility though.
Well, that's gonna be her job. Try to break the utility. They'll hear the camera, and Naxi gets the first kill. Hunter's Fury to come out, but Suzu's also spotted on that flank, thankfully, from Nachi's camera, who's looking to reflank towards mid. Decides differently. Falling back into the A side. Play your numbers. Play the pulse plan. Door is opening as 2 players are now spotted under the bridge. Bastarda still being the main point, communicating all of this to her teammates, and Suzu comes from behind, does get the headshot, and is now moving forward. We're trying to battle back towards the headshot angle, towards the rail, another one onto DRN. The smoke will dissipate, couldn't get the flick. A 2 versus 1, Daiki at 5 HP. As that clock is ticking down, Len is just on the left side of the pyramid, looking to stick it, but about to get turned around from behind, and that's Naxi to get the round, and that's Team Liquid, the first to get double digits.
Liquid not letting it get to their heads. A confident push onto A site, but the finances starting to dwindle with how the last few rounds have played out. Liquid do have the advantage in terms of this ultimate cycle. But Fennel not giving up, man. Not going quietly, still
Enemy remaining.
looking to go toe-to-toe with Liquid. See, actually, Len does have that Viper's Pit available now. Be able to potentially muster together a purchase around that if they do want to maybe force a judge into it. Problem being Suzu kind of offbeat in terms of the Blade Storm. And Liquid just have so much to throw at this.
Exactly. So many ultimates.
Yeah.
Fennel has 2, yes, but also you saw the economy before it went to the timeout.
I mean, even an Orb and a Plant will get DRN and the Null Command as well. It'll be the full house. And this is tricky as well. We were talking about a situation previously with the potential for a snowball round, right? This could be 11 if Fennel want to let this one slip, and then that margin for error decreases once again. Problem being, it's going to, like I said, it's going to be a Judge and a Spectre to offset a couple of rifles. Festival, obviously, not having the ultimate available either.
Yeah. Used it on that previous round just to try to clear and get the flank into cave, and couldn't get much value out of it as Naxi was watching that flank. As you've mentioned, that previous round where they actually did get that huge flank from Festival, we actually looked much quicker to make sure that no flank was coming across here from Fennel.
A second body as well. Daiki actually comes all the way back to make sure that it's kind of, we can play trades. You know, worst case scenario is it's a trade.
Well, Bastarda wants to watch this. Moving forward towards the halls, an off angle on the other end. Festival a little bit antsy, was looking to go for the swing. But as now a couple of pings come out, the dash comes through, but it's still gonna be the pistols. This broken buy from Fennel with only 2 Sheriffs, and now a salvaged Vandal, and make that even 3 Sheriffs. This is looking good.
Viper's been put out though. Naxi looking to try and find this plant. Naxi's already noted this flank though. One of the tripwires was activated. But it's going to be 2 members of Fennel. Karumi's pushed all the way through Tube. Spycam going to spot it out. Great use of utility. The trapwire as well, so Nachi will note 2 on the flank.
Cage triggered.
And they've spotted Kurumi, but the rotate goes back towards mid.
Daiki's actually got Hunter's Fury as well, so another
Yep.
post-plant tool here. Kurumi has to create some pressure in the back lines.
Very important, but this wall's about to come down, and that's going to be 2 players. Perfect trade for Fennel, and the hat's going to come out to spot the last 2. We're just going to try to stick it.
There's
No time to get into position for the Hunter's Fury. We can actually just stick it. We can just eat that.
Enemy remaining.
A total oversight here. I'm not sure whether or not the Cloudburst covering that recon bolt and the tag not coming through, but Fennel just stick the defuse. They went around they have absolutely no right to.
Yep.
And a big investment as well. Naxi caught off guard with a beautifully timed double peek. There's actually as well, Len and Kurumi finding 2 kills that they absolutely shouldn't have.
Yeah, I just want to know what happens here. Look at the x-ray of what happened. Well, this is just before.
One enemy
She's
remaining.
already behind the wall safely to be able to activate the Hunter's Fury. It looked like she was trying to rotate back.
I'm not sure
For
where the
Daiki.
dart ended up, because the dart was sent to back site. I'm not sure if that was intended to scan default, and it didn't.
Maybe.
But a major, major oversight from Liquid in that post plant.
Unfortunately, some spaghetti. And that will put now Team Liquid with the hero rifle onto Bastarda and pistols for the rest. Null command available off a pulse plan if they want to. As we've gained control towards this A side for Team Liquid. Some opposition from Fennel at the staircase, at the door. The Owl drone looking for some information. And finally, we had the plant coming down.
Taking a long time to get that plant down, but
Yep.
no challenge from Fennel. They want to make sure all this util's burnt up. Liquid don't have the advantage just yet. Festival going to find Nachi though. DRN going to be isolated here on default.
Exactly, the recon spotted too. We know one's at bricks. Oh, she's hiding just behind it. Couldn't get the flick onto Bastarda. But meanwhile, we have lost a player towards that right side pyramid where DRN was isolated.
Surely not again. Okay, initially the tap comes through. I think maybe a snake bite landing here.
The
Yes, Naxi
lineups.
gets the kill.
Now, despite the Fuser's killed, nobody else is on it. Somebody else has to sink it, but it doesn't work. The utility off the lower buy of Naxi saves it for Team Liquid.
And they employ it in the thrifty round. And
That's
Fennel
insane.
they kind of want to respect it, right? They want to kind of avoid any nonsense with dying to pistols, you know, run into a Judge, a Spectre, creating a close combat engagement. But the perfect round to pull this out. And rely on the snake bites from deep. I was saying, surely not again that they get this Viper stuff and just stick the defuse, but the snake bites pay off.
In one of those moments where it didn't seem like Fennel had somebody that wanted to try to work back on the flank, and they paid the price for that. Team Liquid now up at 11. Looking to change the pace and work back towards this B site, where they also have found some success on some explosive hits towards this B site.
We get lots of sound cues though here on B site. Whether or not Liquid are going to try and pause for thought here, cut noise. Aldrone actually going to come back and try and catch a rotation potentially, but it's only Nachi, not necessarily a big indicator that she's still lurking outside B. That will confirm it though with Bastarda being here. Might even keep all 4 members committed.
I mean, they do have only a pistol round, right? Try to play your numbers advantage inside the site. Try to gamble it once again. You have a camera trip set up towards the A site. And that's going to help you get that information. Here comes a null command, so we want to play it very safely for DRN. And it allows for a split from Team Liquid into this B site. Everything gets opened up. Nice little flash coming through, and Festival is just trying to fight back with Koharu.
Enemy remaining.
That's only going to be 1 left. To no avail, just like that. Team Liquid are now at series point.
Diligence shown on the way through here, and actually not afraid to use the null command, removing that Viper wall and really that safety net that allowed Fennel to stack up and prevent any progress towards site. Now Fennel backs against the wall. Kaharu, Suzu, ultimates available.
Your fault.
Liquid, we were talking about having a full house just a
I
couple
know
of rounds ago.
exactly.
Nothing to put in here, but Bastarda one off the Blade Storm. Doesn't even need it the way she's playing. Absolutely. Had a Suzu level performance here on Breeze. Putting up numbers for Liquid. Another switch up once again. It's a deep wall on 8 for Fennel. And this Cypher set up here to try and counter Bastardo.
Such an interesting setup too. Only putting one player towards elbow with the push and the rest of them stacked towards this A site for a Fennel, but it doesn't work out. They still lose the first player into the round, make that even a second one, and we're just pushing through. Oh, a save from Kurumi though to allow her teammate Len to stay alive under the bridge. And this flank is now going to be important. Daiki looking to fight back. It's a Blade Storm out in the hands of Suzu, playing the off angle. Doesn't know if Suzu already crossed over. Nice jiggle peek. Oh, and the updraft through, but it's swatted like Duck Hunt. Bastardo now inside the site. Only one more to go. Low HP onto Len on the 4 versus 1, and that's going to be it. Team Liquid able to win the series, 13-9 on the last map of Breeze.
What a crazy decider here. Fennel still putting up a fight and honestly walk away with their heads held high here. Honestly, completely defying expectations in my eyes, taking the fight to Liquid and putting up a brilliant performance. Some of these individuals for Fennel, Festival in particular here on the final map, Suzu and Festival on